Hey, girl. You know we belong together, girl. I don't have no time for you to be playing with my heart like this. You'll be mine forever, baby. You just see. Wow, that's pretty, demanding.
Or what?
I'm telling you, this Boys to Men guy that came on with the bass, and I know he had singing parts, but most of the time he was just,
That smooth talking.
hey, baby. Hey, girl. He was a troll. They trolled their own music without even knowing it. But back in the 90s, we all loved it, and we went head over heels for it because it was different. And that brings us to Disney Plus. And Disney Plus is
somehow
different. Well,
okay.
It's nostalgic, right? Boys to Men's
We're
nostalgic.
just going with the flow, yes.
Disney's nostalgic.
Yeah.
I came home yesterday and I called you in the middle of my day, and I said, "Can you check the Xbox to see if Disney Plus is available for download?" And then I took back those words as I was saying them because I was like, "Wait a second, are you really asking your wife to turn the Xbox on just to see if an app is available to download? Are you that
Jonesing
needy?"
for it? Yeah. I was busy, so we waited.
And I wasn't jonesing for it. But then when I got home, I was jonesing for it. And maybe I fell victim to the hype. I stayed away from... You could pre-order this thing for months. And I stayed away from it. But 2 or 3 days ago, I caved in. I did it mainly for you and our daughter.
Wait, who doesn't want Disney?
If
If you're going to answer that question with anything other than nobody, the answer is wrong.
No, I hadn't looked at the catalog in full yet and seen all the little awesome shows that they were including. I thought it was just the Marvel stuff, the Pixar stuff, and even that would have been probably enough for the $7.99 a month. But
I thought it was $5.
I think it's $6.99 actually. Meet me halfway. Something like that. It's like a number 3 at Arby's.
I don't know, but okay.
I know,
sure.
neither do I, and that's the thing.
But you, okay.
Well, I know that people are willing to pay for number 3s and number 4s at Arby's.
Let's get away from Arby's.
Yeah, they have the meats. But Disney has The Mandalorian. And...
Oh my god.
So
that was the first thing we watched on Disney Plus.
It was, the first thing we watched. It was the one thing that had my interest months ago on Disney Plus when I saw the trailer for it. Because I was a big fan of Rogue One and I was a big fan of Solo, which were the separate from the main body Star Wars movies. And they were supposed to release a third one of those movies that talked about Jango Fett or Boba Fett, the bounty hunters from the original Star Wars trilogy.
Right. I didn't even know they were supposed to do that.
Yeah, they were supposed to do a whole standalone bounty hunter movie, and they scrapped it. They, for whatever reason, the studio said, we're not going to make this anymore.
Disappointing.
Well, now I know the reason, because secretively they were working on this TV series called The Mandalorian, which kind of does everything. It has a movie vibe to it. This thing has a $120 million budget, which is shattering records that maybe only Game of Thrones can compare to. But you can tell, within the first 5 minutes of The Mandalorian, you've got Star Wars quality special effects that you would see in a movie. In Star Wars movies, you've got that creature that comes out of the ocean, and the CGI on it is pretty decent.
Mm-hmm. Just the scene setup is so good too, down to the lighting in the episode, their costumes, their armor, and everything. Just it looks so authentic and not fake Hollywood costume, you know.
It doesn't look, it doesn't look Netflixed, and you don't get that TV vibe from it. And if Disney's original material their TV show material is gonna give off this vibe, because they've got Marvel TV shows lined up with the Winter Soldier and Falcon thing, and then Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, and her her boyfriend Vision. They're going to have their own show. If this is setting the bar that high for the quality of programming and just the emphasis on detail that they put into these shows, then it's a pretty good start, because The Mandalorian, where it lacks in story, and it's only the first episode, right? And it's 40 minutes.
It's a nice slow build too. Well, there was, of course, dialogue and everything, and you had all the different languages. It doesn't give you a lot of details right away. It's a very slow-building show, it seems like. And I really like that.
Yeah, it knows that it's 8 episodes, I think, is what it's set out to be. So it knows that it's going to...
It's giving you just enough information to understand what's going on in the episode, but it doesn't, like, give you too much. It wants you to... It
moves very quickly.
It does, but at the same time... You don't want it to end because you want more of it. So it's got this vibe of it gives you enough information, but leaves enough to mystery where you want to continue watching it.
It's definitely got the Star Wars magic to it that makes you fall in love with the characters and the world. And there's a lot of...
There's some quirky moments in it, which made it fun.
Already in this we've got 3 or 4 buddy sidekick moments that, you kind of love the Chewbacca Han Solo relationship from the original Star Wars trilogy, and you get little bits of those vibes. They always have the comedy relief. In this first episode, there's multiple forms of comedy relief. There's the first guy that he captures, his bounty, that he brings on.
There's people he's met along the way. There's a droid.
Yeah, there's the droid, which was really cool. Seeing a battle droid and the way that it was handling its own against
I like the way it moved.
Those guys, the way it moved, the 360 directional lasers and firing, and that was pretty cool.
I liked his sass.
Who, the droid?
Yeah, he had some dry sass going on.
The droid is voiced by a guy that his name's Taika Waititi. It took me a while to get that name right, because on the Mad Mags podcast, actually, shout out to them, we've talked about this guy through our Best of the Decades conversation, because he directed Thor Ragnarok and some other stuff that they talked about. But anyways, I never knew how to pronounce his name, and he's the voice of the battle droid in this movie, or in this episode. See, I called it a movie, and it feels like a movie. And I'm sure when it's all said and done, 8 hours, it'll be like a 2-part movie, and you can watch it like it is.
Really good. With just 1 episode already so far. So.
It is. I'm really digging the details of the Mandalorian race itself. He's from a planet called Mandalore. That's why they're Mandalorians. But you don't know the history of the people all too much, and what their culture, and we get a little bit of that.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit of. You're not just getting dumped with the Mandalorian culture and history and stuff like that. It's small glimpses into
bits and pieces, like the metal that he's after, that he got payment for his bounty,
which is very special to them.
Which is very special because they melt it down
and make armor,
and they turn it into armor pieces. And I thought that was so cool, because you see the helmet that he's got was previously acquired via those bounties and via that metal.
And there's he gets, like he said, he gets paid with this piece of metal, and he takes it to
like a sort of like base, a foundry.
His foundry, yeah. And they melt it down and make him a shoulder piece for his. And it doesn't really explain why it's so meaningful. It's just, it's a very significant moment, and that metal is very significant to them, because the person who paid it to him said it's good to see that a Mandalorian hands again.
And that guy was so good. His name is Werner Herzog, and he's like one of the most reputable drama directors in the history of movies. And I was not expecting to see him as an actor in the series, but he has this really almost like French accent in it, and it's very esteemed and very. He's in a room with stormtroopers, and he's heavily guarded, and in comes this bounty hunter who's like the complete opposite, very rugged and very he's very rugged though in like his style.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
nonsense.
He's like James Bond. He moves like James Bond a little bit.
If James Bond was a Mandalorian.
If James Bond was a Mandalorian, he'd be this bounty hunter. Yeah. Very suave with the dialogue as well. There are a lot of, catchy one-liners and quirky, snarky sort of comments back to the droid and back to his
they packed a
counterparts.
lot of humor in, or a lot of humor in
40 minutes. Yeah.
No, to like these small little quips, like these like one sentence line, like the one-liners.
I like those odds.
It's just the way they were able to make the dialogue, and while he doesn't always say a lot, when he does say something, it's pretty good.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff and information is packed into this first episode. I think the Star Wars fans are going to geek out because, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to Star Wars, I'm probably in like the 6 territory as far as knowledge is concerned. And this first episode was a lot. It was overwhelming to me. There were a lot of little things that I felt like if I was a 10 out of 10, I would have been like giddy inside about. And been like, oh my God, they did that, they did this, they did that. There was a lot of attention to detail down to like the vehicles, the bars, the various bars, and the various creatures.
And languages.
Yeah, which brings me to the complaint that I had about it. So far, it's a story that's going to rely on him, I get it, but sooner or later, and I'd rather see it sooner than later, I'm going to need a villain in this show. Otherwise, it's going to be like this. It's going to be intriguing to watch him go from scene to scene, and now that he
needs something to overcome, an obstacle.
Yes, which we might.
Maybe it's not a villain. Maybe it's something else.
Maybe it's a cause, which is what the last minute or two signifies. But then again, maybe the guys that just hired him for this bounty that he's not going to come through on because we know how the episode ends. Yeah, we're assuming it. Well, he killed the battle droid.
But the battle droid had a different mission than him, because remember, the Mandalorian was said that he'll get paid more if the bounty's brought back alive.
Oh, that's right.
And the droid said that his orders was specifically to kill the target.
That's right. And yeah, he takes care of the battle droid because he's not willing to get rid of the target, which I'm not going to spoil that because it was a neat moment and it made you
I like that moment.
It was very cute and endearing. I'll have more to say about that when we get to our second episode review of this. So the way they're going to roll this out, it's not like Netflix. Right now, if you sign up on Disney Plus, and right now it's Thursday, November 14th. So Disney Plus came out on the 12th, and the second episode will be available this Friday, the 15th, my birthday, wink, wink. And then from that point... Early birthday. Thank you so much. What'd you get me? I already know, because you showed me, and you're going to have to send it back because it came back chipped. It was this really cool Marvel mug. Celebration of Disney Plus week, I guess. So the episodes are going to come out every Friday, and I guess it'll take a month and a half to get through the following 6 episodes. So we're going to do an episode-by-episode breakdown and sort of keep the flow of what we thought. But this is a hell of a start for Disney original programming. I mean, it is what it is, though. It's $120 million invested in the series, so it better be good, and it better be high quality. And it is. I'm going to need to see the villain. I think that Werner Herzog old man guy that he meets is a heck of a good villain.
Oh, yeah.
And I could see that guy growing to be very disliked by people if he's a bigger part of the series, because that was a highlight of the episode for me. And also the little training of him riding those alpaca-like weird gremlin things.
I don't remember what they called them.
That was cool too. Nick Nolte was the voice of that guy. Nick Nolte's like an old...
My new catchphrase now, or not my catchphrase, my new saying that I want to...
Oh yeah, go ahead.
The time. I have spoken.
Yeah. So if you watch this episode with your girlfriend, or wife, she's probably going to pick up on that "I have spoken" line that is uttered repeatedly and capitalize on it. But that's all good. So Mandalorian, the name of our show is Hits and Misses, is what we're going to run with. This is our first episode, so I like that vibe to it. I guess we just need to figure out a rating system, and this episode...
Well, we got it. It's a hit or a miss.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, Mandalorian, is it a hit, a miss,
Oh, it's a hit.
foul ball?
No, it's a hit.
I'm willing to say it's a hit as well. That first episode was really captivating, really endearing. There wasn't a ton of drama, but there was good action, good comedy, and a little bit of sentimentality at the end as well. So if it takes care of the drama in the future by throwing in a good villain, I think this is going to be a stand apart from the pack TV series.
And I agree.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys for episode 2 of Hits and Misses, which will be covering episode 2 of The Mandalorian. And Disney Plus is out there and available, so if you guys are wanting to check that out and get in on the discussion and watch the original programming for yourself, along with a ton of stuff from the 80s and 90s, pretty much everything.
Like the original X-Men that I'm super excited
From
about.
the original X-Men to DuckTales, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, all the duck-oriented cartoons from the 90s that I loved, along with we could go on and on. There is so much there, to the point where it might be, we have a 3-year-old and we don't throw her in front of the TV all too often, but the stuff that she likes on TV, like Paw Patrol
all on Disney Plus now.
and YouTube cartoons,
well, not Paw Patrol.
But like that style of show, there's something better and more quality, in my opinion, available on Disney Plus already than all the stuff she liked.
I've gotten a 24-hour break so far from the previous shows that she's continuously watching, and it's like, thank God I'm not watching Pororo.
Yeah. Nothing against Pororo, but Disney, for everything that I have against them with their modern way of going about things and the remakes of classics and stuff like that aren't so great, Aladdin, Lion King, Cinderella, all that new wave of live action stuff, they're making it up with this app, and maybe they have to, because so many people were starting to lose faith in Disney's original like creativity and all that they just have to say, hey, this is still who we are, and remember in the 80s and 90s we sort of paved your childhood with all these classics that you fell in love with, so here they are again. Sorry for the last 10 years of crappy live action movies. So that's our mini review of Disney Plus, I guess, along with episode 1 of The Mandalorian, for Hits and Misses, episode 1. That was fun.
It was fun. Catch you later.
Let's do it again.
Later. Not now.
Now.
Later.
How about now?
It's not later yet.